All right, so today we have Diamond Consultant Karen Louise, and this is the Elite Earners Call. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. So Karen, are you there? You can hear me okay?
I am. Hi, everyone.
Awesome, great. I can hear you great over here too. So yeah, so what we want to do today, Karen, is as you know, this is the Elite Earners Call. So we like to get consultants who've been with Mob and
Okay.
who are doing good things and kind of
Yeah.
raising the game in entrepreneurship. And you've been active in the community, and you've made some good money so far. With
Yes.
Mob. So why don't you kind of going back to the beginning? Why don't you tell us a little bit about your journey from when you started, maybe from your career, and kind of how you made that transition into like entrepreneurship.
Okay. That sounds great. Well, sort of my journey over many years, from the age of 18, I did what's called in the UK a Princess Trust,
Hmm.
which is a scheme where it helps young adults start their own business.
Hmm.
And so my background, I did 3 years at college, and I did hair and beauty. And I then went on to run my own business for about 18 months. And then, so from then, that's when I started my journey in knowing that I wanted to work for myself. I wanted to build my own business. And I knew that was very, very important.
Hmm.
I then went on I moved down to London, which was quite scary on my own at the age of, I think, 22.
Okay.
And I did about 5 years of modeling, and where the beauty and the hair came in, obviously it was very, very of advantage to me because I was able to do a lot of things myself. So, and then I got married and had three amazing children. And by the age of, I think, 30, we started, me and my husband started a business together
Okay.
that went really, really well, which for those, well, those anywhere will know, we started a business selling and renting American motorhomes,
Oh
which are
wow.
the
Okay.
sort of big Winnebagos. So at one point we were the largest sale and rental of these vehicles outside of America.
Wow.
So we started that. Me and my mum bought our first one. We got a loan together, and it was about £50,000,
Hmm.
and that was our journey. We ended up with about five, and then we managed to start to outsource it. So we ended up running within a couple of years of the business about 50,
Oh
which
wow.
was pretty amazing. We
Yeah.
would do the likes of Silverstone, Goodwood, would even do Le Mans in France,
Hmm.
where we'd send all these motorhomes down to with lots of drivers. So logistically, that was a
Yeah.
bit of a nightmare. In this process, I was still a stay-at-home mum.
Okay.
I would help in the business as much as I could. I've got three amazing children. So I was sort of behind the scenes, supporting my husband, helping when I could within the business. And then that's when I came across Mobe.
Okay.
My daughter um, was, I'm just trying to think what age, probably about 3, and she was obviously starting to go to nursery. So I'm thinking, right, what can I start doing for myself?
Okay.
And that's when I came across Mobe.
Cool. And then how long ago was that
So
now? So we're in 2016.
that was 2 years ago.
Okay. Started about 2014 sometime. Awesome.
Yeah, yeah. So about 2 years, and I came across it just online. I didn't get any leaflets. I didn't get any emails. It was just purely I came across it. I started following someone online. I watched all their videos for quite a long time just to
Yeah.
sort of suss him out,
Right.
as you do. And then I signed up to the 21 steps.
Was that do you
So
remember who that was, or how you came across
yeah,
that?
a guy that I was following was a guy called Tyler McWhirter,
Oh, okay.
and my coach was Mike Lee,
Oh, okay.
who lived about 30 minutes from me.
Okay.
And he coached me through the process.
Hmm.
He coached me a little bit personally as well, which was I highly recommend. It's a really good process to understand what you're going through, your why, your
Sure.
dreams, your aspirations. So the 21 steps, the MTTB is really, really a good process. And I think being a coach myself, because back in 2007
Mm-hmm.
I did do, I became a personal performance coach.
Oh, okay.
So I helped and support mainly ladies at the time lose weight
Mm-hmm.
and just have a better self-image of themselves and the confidence that we sort of need. So I've obviously got a lot of that as well that I did while my kids were at school, and I'd go and coach people in my own time. So that worked really well. So that's what resonated me a lot with the 21 steps. And then at the end of the 21 steps, I just said, right, I'm in. I'm in. I signed up for platinum, and yeah, never looked back really. That was in the May of 2014. And so I just did all the 21 steps. I watched a lot of videos. I read a lot. I learnt a lot. But that's when life took a bit of a nosedive. A lot of people that have been following me on all the social media and sort of have met me at the relevant masterminds or courses that we've done. Sadly, my husband passed away 3 months later. So even though I've been in MOBE for 2 years, really MOBE got put on a back foot because my life just basically took a spin dive. I was left financially in debt. My husband's business, that was the motorhome business, wasn't doing as great as he was making out. Or should I say, he wasn't being the entrepreneur I thought he was. With regards to creating a business that would work without him. And this is where, again, I believe online marketing, creating passive income, I deal in property now, and I also deal in gold. So for me, the journey that I've been on over the last 20 months now is being a mission of creating what was taken away. That 2 years ago. So I had to, rather than falling into a big, dark, gloomy hole and feel really sorry for myself, and I basically picked myself up. I attended Titanium a month later. So my husband passed away in the August, and I then attended the Titanium Mastermind in the September, which was the best thing I could have done. I can't emphasize how important the masterminds are for the support, the network, the learning, the education, everything. I surrounded myself with like-minded people that again, not just on the entrepreneurial side, but the support and the emotional side, knowing that what I've gone through and the fact that I'd managed to sort my 3 children to be looked after and just got on a plane. It is the best thing I could have done, really. So yeah, did that. Then I came back, and again, sadly, life got in the way, as it did, because obviously I had all of the stuff to deal with losing my husband, looking after 3 children, losing their daddy, and I really didn't. I dabbled, as Tony Robbins says. I dabbled in a bit of this, I dabbled in a bit of that, like learning social media, understanding how it worked, but I didn't really focus properly. I made a few mistakes. I paid for things I shouldn't have really paid for. I did some stuff myself, which took far too long. I outsourced some stuff, but again, I do believe my life has been a big, long learning curve, and as they say, you never fail. You just learn how not to do things. So I then and at Titanium, at the end of Titanium, I at that time I managed to go diamond. I fathomed a way how to do it, because I just saw the end result and the MOBE business sort of behind me. I knew there was money to be made, and I wanted to be involved. So I just took action, and I went even more fully positioned in as a diamond member. Sadly, again, didn't do anything until I did my diamond, which was nearly a year later.
Right.
which annoys me a little bit, but I just logistically, with what happened with 3 children, I just
Yeah.
couldn't get on an earlier one.
Yeah.
So I've done many things. I did my Platinum Mastermind back in July, which that to me is, I think, my turning point of taking the business seriously.
Okay.
That Platinum event, again, I can't emphasize how important these masterminds are.
Yeah.
We learned about property, real estate, obviously in those terms, gold, investment. And one of the things that really resonated me with that event, another big punch in the face with regards to my husband passing away, is he didn't have life insurance.
Oh, okay.
So for a man for a family that lived the lifestyle, we lived in a £2.5 million house. We drove the Ferraris, the Porsches. We went to the Maldives. We lived what looked to other people as an amazing dream lifestyle. Everyone thought our relationship was amazing, but we all have issues in our relationships. But sadly, that didn't come either. So to me, promoting to people, get life insurance, and even if you do have life insurance, make sure you've got the right amount, the right level that will support you or your partner if for obviously any reason that something was to happen. So sadly, I never had that to fall upon. So the Platinum Mastermind that educated everyone to protect yourself, to get insured, to buy into gold. Like Matt did a fantastic morning all about gold and money, and compared the two. So again, the gold is really good, the real estate is really important. So that then set me on my journey. I came back to the UK. I attended a couple of property events. And again, those that follow me on social media will see that I go to a lot of property events. And I'm doing a few deals at the moment with regards to some developments. So again, it's just creating these passive, not necessarily passive, because obviously property is not passive, but it's just creating these avenues of wealth where my husband sadly put all of his eggs in one basket with the motorhome business. And when he passed away, that just all went. So again, emphasizing to people to create different avenues of income to come in to protect yourself and your family, really. That's brilliant. So that's a little bit about my story. I'm not sure where to go from there.
That's great. You hit a lot of really good points in there that we can we can talk more about. Like for instance, you going back to your kind of your upbringing with the Princess Trust, and then the motorhome business. What do you think that those lessons? How do you think that changed your mindset? Moving forward as an entrepreneur, because I know that's a problem that a lot of people have is they know that they want more for their lives, but maybe they don't have that turning point until later in life. As you know, a lot of our clients with Mobar, we like to say baby boomers, getting into the retirement age. They make that realization that, hey, wait a minute, I don't have as much security or the money that I want, at the end of my life here. So what do you think? How do you think that helped going through those experiences early on to kind of, pave the way for yourself to kind of look at things in financial security in a different light?
I think obviously as a 17-year-old child, I suppose, still back then, I don't know. I just knew that I didn't want to work for someone else. I love variety. I love meeting people. I just wanted to sort of create my own. Don't get me wrong. I did work for other people. I worked in a supermarket on the checkout, and I worked nights at a factory, just from some experience way back then. And I completely sort of understand with obviously the baby boomers now that like I paid. I've got 3 children, as I've said, and we did the calculations when they were little that if you paid into their pension from the day they were born to the age of 10, and I paid £100 into their pension every month, that then when they were of retirement age, they would be in that age be a millionaire.
Right.
But it's still scary to be reliant upon money being put into someone else's hands to then think in obviously 50 years time it's going to be worth something that's going to provide you a lifestyle that you've been used to. So I think for me, going back to the question, as in I just, because everything, the stability that I thought I had was taken away so quickly when my husband died, it just made me feel like, whoa, at the age I was on, that month that my husband died was a very important year for me, because because I was turning 40. Oh, wow. So I didn't celebrate that at all, sadly. I will. There'll come a point that I will then get to a stage where I need to have my 40th birthday party. So you're all welcome.
There you go.
There you go. Invites in the post. So for me, I think as a young adult, I just was on my journey, that I just did what I did. I didn't know my upbringing. I was very poor. My mum was a single mum of 3, and she went out to work, and she's still, up until a couple of years ago, had the same job all her life. And I think for me, it's when you're coaching someone, you have towards and away from, and I mean that as in someone that wants something like a better car or a better life or better house and a better relationship. It's that they are seeing those as they are towards goals. Sure. or towards it appeals to them. So sure. If you put things in front of them that if they are a forward thinker, then that is really good. If you are an away from thinker, it's like, for me, for example, I don't know whether you know, obviously you should do with the Waltons, the program on the TV. Growing up as being in a single family I had 2 brothers, I had a younger and an older brother, that I wanted the Waltons. I wanted the love. I wanted the good night, Mary Ellen, good night, John Boy. I wanted the love, and then the grandma and the grandpa and so on. And don't get me wrong, I knew my mom loved me very much. Never saw my dad really until I got married. And we have a really good relationship now. But so as a child, I've had my ups and downs, and I think that does build you to understand where you're going, what you want. So as a child and as a young adult, it was very much, I don't want that life. Right. I don't want to be a single parent if I choose to. I don't want to be in debt. I don't want to have the life a lot of my mum's friends have, the mum. So it's like, right, there is more to life. I don't want to live in that I was living in. So at the age of 21, 2, I got on a train and moved down to London. I lived in a bedsit where I promoted someone else's restaurant. This is where I started my journey as a model. So that's why I went down to London. I did some TV presenting. I did some calendar work. So I did lots of trips abroad, which was amazing. So I just think my childhood upbringing was the one that sort of created those urges to want to become and be an entrepreneur. Because I didn't want the life that I'd been surrounded by, I suppose. Wow. Okay. And then obviously with what happened with my husband, it sadly, in my relationship with my husband, it wasn't that great towards the later years. And he was very, again, a bit of controlling. Let me do a few bits, but would never let me buy property, would never let me really start my own business. So when my husband did pass away, one of the things that the silver linings on that is that I am now able to be my own person. I'm able to be the entrepreneur that I was meant to be 20 years ago. And that is why, again, I've got into the property, I've got into Mobe, I've got into the gold, I've got into other avenues where I want to inspire people. My next stage is I want to be on stage telling my story. So yeah, that's where I want to be. That's where I'm going.
Well, no, so there's a lot of kind of, you always had it in you, and you know, it's always difficult to lose someone in your family, but you know, it's good that you've been able to use that as power through your journey, and
Yes.
to,
Yes.
and to continue to give your children the life that they want and that they deserve. So that's really inspiring.
Well, actually, no. The sad thing about it, that we haven't kept the lifestyle that we had.
No.
We had to move out of this again. We had to move out of the £2.5 million house.
Sure.
The Ferrari, the cars. I had
Right.
a beautiful white Range Rover. They all got sucked into the business, so we lost everything.
Oh wow.
I had to
Okay.
sell. I had to sell a lot of things. I had to sell my car. I had to sell the items that I had just to pay the bills. My two boys at the age were 10 and 12.
Okay.
That my daughter was nearly 4, or she was just 4 when my husband passed away. She was due to start the pre-prep, which
Sure.
is a private school that my two boys attended. And as for many that know about private school, it's not cheap.
Right.
You're talking, my son now is 13, and if he'd have carried on in the school that I wanted him to go to, that was £30,000 a year.
Wow.
And that would have been each. It would have cost my daughter £10,000
Right.
each, so that would have been £70,000 a year.
Wow.
After tax.
Right.
And obviously with what happened, that wasn't sustainable. So they had to come out of their private school. We had to move. We've moved house 4 times in 20 months. So again, it just creates the building blocks to you know what? I don't need to sort of feel sorry for myself. I am where I am, and I'm going to pick myself up. I'm going to move to the next level. Each house that I've moved to has got bigger, better, not to the level that obviously the £2.5 million house was,
Right.
but we're in a lovely house now in Oxford, and the boys have their own rooms now, because initially we moved into a 3-bedroomed house, and the two bedrooms that my daughter and my boys slept in were just single bedrooms. They had to sleep in bunk beds in a very, very small room. So, but you know what? I think me as a parent, in the first 10 years of my children's life, I feel very proud of myself that I've sort of raised very grounded children. That, as my 12-year-old son said to me when my husband died, that he said, "Mum, what's happened. We can't change it. We just have to move on." And that again just makes me want to just give him a big cuddle and cry.
Yeah.
With regards to the material things that they had sort of grown up around, they never ever made me feel bad. That, oh mummy, I want this, and oh mummy, where's the big house, or where's the big car, and I miss driving. Daddy used to drive them alternately every now and again into school in his Ferrari, and they loved it. We were sadly, again, I keep on saying sadly because I suppose it was, we basically went from driving down that school drive in the best car in the school to the worst car in the school, because an amazing friend that I've known, that I knew from high school actually, had heard what had happened, and they gave me their car. It was a £200 Ford Focus. And so again, I went from driving down that school drive in a Range Rover to a not necessarily beaten up, but a £200 Ford Focus. And sadly, it makes you realise who your true friends are.
Yeah.
So I've had a lot of that. I've had a lot of that to deal with as well, along my journey in Moab. And I think that is when I came to Titanium, and I just surrounded myself with like-minded people.
Yeah.
It was just amazing. And there are people in the business and even in property now that know my story and have heard it and just think, wow, this woman, the word tenacity comes to mind. Yeah, I have that on my website, and I get called the Duracell Bunny, which I don't know whether you know what that means.
Yeah,
obviously so yeah, that's a Duracell Bunny. I like that.
Nice. So you talked a little bit about too how going to the masterminds, and we have all these summits that we do now, and I think that you mentioned that they're part of the platinum series, and you have the property investing, and then the gold. Like,
Yes.
how important do you think is that supplemental education on top of what you're learning, with business growth in the mode programming? How important do you think that is for somebody that is looking at their financial future and their wealth? How important do you think is attending those masterminds?
Oh, 110% important. You've just got to be there. I was very lucky. I did mine in order, and I feel that I know with the new changes Mobe's doing now with regards to the silver and the certificates, the gold and the masterminds that are doing, and you have to sort of do them in order to then get the certificate and the pin to move on to the next. I do feel that is very, very important, because I don't think it's good for education when certain people come into the industry, into Mobe, and go to a level which, say, comes straight into diamond, when they've not done titanium and platinum, because in a way they're newbies. And don't get me wrong, where some people come in and can go straight into diamond because of the background and the businesses that they're already in. But I feel that I did titanium, platinum and diamond, and I do believe that's a great way and platform to do it, because the titanium is the education of online marketing, and it's like you'd like to think at that point you're making money in the business, so therefore you do then the platinum, and it's like, right, I'm making this money in my business now, right now I need to protect it, I need to invest it, and I need to put it in the right place. So yes, definitely you just got to do it, because then whether you take action, like I did my platinum in July. So for me now, we're now in May. So it's been sort of researching things, investing things. I did my journey into property virtually within a couple of months of attending that. And then gold has just been a sort of follow on from that. And it's not something necessarily that I've gone and looked for. Actually, someone that I deal with is a really, really good friend of mine. They actually mentioned it to me, and it's amazing. Again, I do believe heavily in law of attraction, and writing your goals down, doing your vision board, and putting dates on things. And this comes a lot from my coaching, that I when I coach people, and really doing that every single day. So obviously the guy came to me, we're chatting about gold, and so for me, investing in gold personally, but also having the facility to offer the gold to other people. So that again is very important, and we can, it's not for the super rich, it's for people like when Matt did his chat on stage. It was very generous. He gave a couple of coins out to a few people, which I think were worth about $300. But you can get gold. You can get gram, like 1 gram of gold in the UK is about 30 pounds. So for me, with my children, I'm going to buy them 1 gram of gold every month, and it's going to come to my house, and I'm going to put it in my safe. And when you compare, if you was to put £1,000 in a bank for 10 years, in 10 years' time, it would probably be worth £500. If you was to put £1,000 of gold, it would probably, I think, rightly, the research has been done that gold has outdone property in regards to going up in price, and shares.
Oh wow!
So even if you use one of your strategies as buying shares, which again is a good avenue, but again you've got to be, that's a little bit more risky. So even if you compare property, gold, and stocks and shares, gold came out earning worth loads more. So definitely get yourself to a platinum event, and just take the learnings from what is given from stage.
Well, no, that's great, and the timing on this is awesome too. I don't know if you know, we have the precious metals investing summit actually coming up. So no, that's great to kind of hear. Because we always do the promotions from within Mobe, and Matt will say, "Well, go to this event," and then I'll be giving such webinars on it, for the affiliates and the consultants now. But actually, to hear from your experience and how it's immediately implemented. You went there and you learned about this, and you're like, wow, that's a good idea. And you don't have to be, the super wealthy elite to be investing in these precious metals.
No.
Home, and you started saying, well, I can buy the X amount of gold for my children, once a month or a couple times a year, and then you start to see the return on that. So no, that's great. I think that'll help a lot of people kind of see the bigger picture of kind of what MOB is in kind of the whole business education, as opposed to just leveling yourself. And kind of the last question I wanted to ask on that was so we have these different levels, and people understand that, and they know that, okay, so when I'm diamond, that means I can make up to $20,500, for a client. But what I think people forget is, think of all the education that you get along the way. So, for you went to the Titanium Mastermind and a couple summits, and then you went to the Platinum and, the Precious Metal Summit, and, you got some property training in there too, and now the Diamond, and then outside of your funnel, you got this added training. So I think what people fail to forget is you're not only investing in leveling yourself in this business ascension model, but you're also getting that, you're raising that level of education. So therefore you can raise the ability to attract the income, kind of like you were talking about. So how important do you think that is, going through those different phases of education?
I think it's very important, because again, you're going to venues again that are at the next level. You are meeting people within the business that are at the next level, and I do believe a big phrase for me at the minute is, you are the sixth person of the five people you hang around with.
Yeah.
So so ask yourself today now, who are they? Who are you hanging around with? Who are you speaking to for your advice? Or who are you going out with of a weekend? Who are you socializing with? Yeah. So again, it all goes back to the masterminds. Get yourself to the masterminds, get yourself to the events, get yourself to the supercharges, and dream big. I did a recent supercharge in London, which was great. And again, that was a big, for me, kick up the butt. And I think that's I think since then,
I know we saw your $1 million check that you made out to yourself. So
that was it. Well, I originally put on there, I only wrote initially because I've made in MOB now. I've made over $30,000 in MOB so far.
Right.
And I like to class that as from the end of. Well, I suppose really from when I attended Diamond, which was like September, October time.
Yeah.
But I actually made that sale. I actually made while attending the Titanium in July. So I was sat. Matt was on stage, and I had to put my hand up, and I've just said, "Wow, I've just got a Titanium sale," and then a week later I got the Diamond sale, obviously by the same person. So that was amazing. Yeah. So it's the education and sort of being around people is very, very important, and the education you get. One of the other things as well, you'll never stretch a rubber band and it go back to the same way that it was initially. Yeah. So just by attending all of these events, you are expanding your mind, you are expanding your vision, and there may be people out there that aren't getting the sales that they want, but again, a word that I've been sort of labeled with is like tenacity, is not giving up. So when I attended the Supercharge and I went on stage and I got my £30,000 check and got my photos and everything. They then said, right, you can write another one, and I put 100,000 by September of this year. Mm-hmm. And then I put that on Facebook, and one particular person said, "Oh, is that it? Is that all?" And my actual goal that I actually do have, I have some little cards that I carry in my purse with me, and I look at every morning and every night before I go to bed. And they are just little cards that I have little notes on. One is a little card that says "I am," and if I had them with me, I would actually read them to you, but they're in my bag. And it's like, I am a worldwide inspiration. I am a global leader. Entrepreneur, deal maker, property investor, and so that's one.
There you go.
And the other one is to do with what I would like, and one of them is 1.8 million which is 5,000 a day, whether that's dollars or pounds. I'm not greedy. So I then went, I then went and asked if I could do another check. So I then went back on stage with my $1.8 million check. And I think that's where, again, I got on stage. I started doing all the things in the areas of social media, adding my links to everything that I post. We are now focusing on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, because again, with Diamond, I was able to fly to Kuala Lumpur and do my videos with some with Matt and some on my own. So again, anyone that is down for Diamond, please get your scripts in your head that you want to do, because you want to utilize your time while in Kuala Lumpur and while in the studio, and you don't want to get there and just not be prepared. And another phase is like, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. You need to get your scripts ready, work out the not image, what you're wanting to put out to the world. And if you can write your scripts down, then the staff within the MOB office can get them on the auto cue, and you can just get through as many videos as you can. Utilize that time. So that's very important. And I've got that on my .tv page, and I've also got it on my YouTube page as well. And it's just like getting it out to the world for the world to see.
You know, now that you've been to the 3 masterminds, then is there anything else that you would recommend for somebody to kind of prepare for before they go? You know, even if it's a week, 2 weeks out, like what are some suggestions you would have? Because that's a really common question people have.
Yes, I think for me, again, one thing that again is a very basic thing, and I do have a few, but I think on my journey in MOB, I've built my own landing pages. I've outsourced people to build my landing pages. And some of them weren't great, some of them were okay. But it's build your list. Build your list. And I think for me, lots of people to me over the year, you'll do amazing, you've got the personality, you've got the looks, you've got the story. And it's like, you're right, I do. But there's no point in having a story and having the personality and everything that I have if it's not in front of the people that are going to buy from you. And it all goes back down to the hungry audience. You can be amazing at what you do, but if it's not in front of the right people, no one will buy. Or you can have a really crap product, but it's like the story that in one of the books I've read, it's to do with the gold mine. You could be that person with the only spade. Oh, Levi. And if that person, it's the gold story, and it's like having that hungry audience that they will. It doesn't matter how bad your product is, if it's something that they want and need, they will buy from you. It doesn't matter what you look like, what you're like as a person. If you've got what they want and they need it, they'll buy from you. So again, it's building that list. I'm on a mission at the minute. We had this week we've been increasing my Twitter followers, and again, a few people will see from my Facebook page that I've got 3 amazing children, and I'm trying to educate them as well. So one of the things that we've been educating on money, on gold, we're doing the Rich Dad Poor Dad board game called Cash Flow. Oh, there you go. And it's fantastic. I just think you don't have that in school, even private school. You don't get educated on relationships. You don't get educated on business and investing. So for me, one of my journeys is helping and inspiring my boys mainly at the minute. But Evie will be in the background listening. She's only 5. She's sat here on the floor playing, bless her. Being very, sorry, she's just turned around and said 5.5. that half is very, very important. So again, it's educating the younger people of the world to learn about what to do. So that my other son is learning all about YouTube and understanding where I can then put my videos to get more coverage. So that'll be good fun. Excellent. So, well, I got one last good question for you. What would your one piece of advice be, kind of that you've learned
if you're just getting started with Mo, what would your kind of one piece of advice be for somebody just getting started that maybe is, still unsure about what's to come, or they don't know how they
Okay.
this whole picture?
Okay, one thing I would say is get yourself a landing page. Get yourself a landing page for either, one of the things I've learned is get people to the events, the free mastermind, the IF Freedom Workshop.
Sure.
Get yourself a landing page to that event, and just get it out to the world. Get it on your Facebook, get it on your Twitter, because then they will come into your, they will give you obviously your email, it will come into the autoresponder, so you will be building your list, which is very, very, very important, and two, that obviously the email will then go into the MOB program and into the sales funnel there, and the salespeople will obviously do what they're really, really good at and connect with people. So once you've got their email in your autoresponder, get them to connect with you on Facebook, have conversations with people, build that rapport. So again, get your landing page to the free event, and then let the people at these free events do what they're good at, which is educate them and move them on to the next level, which would be to get them to a home business summit.
Excellent. Well, that's great. Well, wow, it's a really amazing story. It's good to learn all this about you. As you know, I wanted this to be very, I didn't prep you for any of these questions, so I think that was to both of our benefits. So yeah, really amazing story. Look forward to sharing this with people. Thank you. And we look
You're welcome.
we look forward to seeing you at an event soon. Okay.
Yes, wonderful. I will be there. I'll be with my children, inspiring them to build online and to create the sort of stability that we're all sort of wanting in life.
That's awesome. All right. Well, I look forward to talking to you again soon. We'll take care. Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.